Welcome to Unfiltered Discussions. You got Nash in the building.
Got Ash in the building.
And today we have a special guest, Latifah.
Oh, goofy.
Multi-talented. So we're going to get all into it. So we're going to jump straight into it. You know, I like to call you the cake slayer, right?
Yes, but before we start, did my publicist send you the questions that we're not asking?
No.
I'm already. Well, let's go. I ain't gonna get bougie. I'm just prepping myself for when I make it big time.
As you should.
Okay,
You got
yeah.
We manifesting this thing, okay? So
Absolutely.
as y'all can see, we sit here with assorted cupcakes in front of us, all naturally made, no box stuff.
No box stuff. It's definitely
At all.
I got up at 4:30 this morning,
Mm.
and I said I gotta make some cupcakes. So I made edible.
Wait.
So these are
Tell them what that is.
So these are edible infused. It has the Rice Krispies, that's edibles. It has some THC, CBD for you inside of the icing, and this is edible candy. And you have cookies and cream over there, and this is a chocolate apple martini cupcake and a regular vanilla buttercream cupcake.
Wow. Woo. So you could get the party lit for real, for real.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Okay, and I know firsthand that the cakes is good. The strawberry shortcake, the Oreo cookie one. So I mean, listen, you do your thing. Not to mention, you don't just make cakes, but you really are artist, right?
People say that, but
Absolutely.
you eat with your eyes, but it's a secret. It's not a secret, but I hate all of my cakes.
You do?
I hate the way they look. I don't like it.
But you're perfection.
Because I see the flaws, I'm like, oh man, I never like it, and I don't like cake. I don't eat cake.
Oh, don't.
That
So
is
you're a
funny.
cake slave. You don't like cake.
I don't like cake.
So let me guess. Is Tunchi like testing out this stuff? Who's
Tunchi
that?
does not test it. Tunchi hates cake.
Okay.
She doesn't like anything sweet. Grandma tastes it.
Oh God, no! Just had grandma eating up all the sweets.
No, I mean, people say, well, how do you know your stuff is good? I said, because it's always gone.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay, but no, I mean literally, like I seen like things that you did for people, and they are really dope. Like it's one thing to be able to make something taste good, but to taste good and look good is on another level.
Yeah, I always say that because it's either beautiful and horrible or horrible. Wait, beautiful and horrible or nasty and something.
Yeah, and good.
Yeah.
Well,
Ugly and good, something like that.
Exactly, and that's the truth. So, I mean, so as far as the baking side of things and the cake side of things, like, exactly where do you want to take that?
So as much as I love to bake for people, I don't want to bake for people anymore.
No,
I don't. I get tired of the nickel and diamond type of thing, and my price is my price. I'm not going to bend. I'm not going to switch for shit. Y'all don't go into Gucci and say, "Can I get a discount?"
That part.
Y'all don't call last minute to get a suit tailor made, so don't call me the day before and expect a miracle because it's just not going to happen. But I get tired of it, so I bake for certain people. It's not a big deal. If I get a nice contract, then I'm definitely going to secure the bag. But I really like more sugar showpieces and more artistry looking things over than cake or sculpting ice cream cakes. That's my favorite.
Yeah, oh wow,
That's my
okay.
favorite.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, to me, I feel like the stuff that I see you do, belong up there with the big things, which of course I know will, because it's like I said, you go in places, you see a cake or a cupcake, and it's like,
I don't know about that.
But then like the themed ones is just like so dope. Like I just look like, oh my God, I don't know what this shit is. Like,
And it's so funny because I'll do it and I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. Like I made that bear cake for King Saladin. Somebody asked me to do it probably like 3 days. And I was like, 3 days, that's not enough time. So I scoped it out. It's my first time actually really sculpting a cake like that. And I was like, oh, it's ugly.
no, that color, that lime green, all that.
Yeah, so then I was like, let me really go in my bag because if this cake goes viral, I really want it to be something, not just going viral, but I want the person that's going to get it to really appreciate it. So I had to pull out the airbrush, I had to pull out the fondant, I cannot draw for anything in my life.
You can't?
No, I had to trace and figure it out, and then the first time I did it, it was backwards, so I had to flip it and I had to do it all over again. And so it was the day to bake it. Well, I got the order, then I had the day to bake it. Oh, all right, so I got the order, I had to figure out a design. Then I had to bake it the next day. I had to let it cool, so I got up probably like 3 o'clock in the morning and decorated it so that they can the afternoon.
Yeah, but that one was dope. It really like mimicked the actual logo. So I was like, damn, like, and that's one of the ones that I'm referring to, even the house party one. Like,
Oh, that
like,
was the house party was ice cream cake.
It was.
That was an ice cream cake. So the lady, she sent me a picture. Was like, "Can I have this cake?" And I was like, "Okay." She's like, "But I want ice cream." I'm like, "Dang, how am I sculpt this ice cream cake?" So that took me about 2 days just to kind of like really figure out how to do it. I'm like, it's hot, it's summer, it's going to melt. Like, it's constantly in and out the freezer, in and out the freezer. So it was ice cream cake. Then I had to take and build a freezer to ship the cake. So yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy. That house party one was so detailed. Like, that,
Yeah.
it's crazy. You, man, listen, let me tell you something. I know you saying that ain't your lane all the time, or you trying to like step back, but that's where it's at for you. Like, honestly, like, yes, you have a lot of talents that we will get to, but I'm just saying, like, the baking side of things and the artistry is just like top notch to me.
That's what everybody say. So y'all make sure y'all follow me at CakeStorm215 on Instagram.
Exactly. Real talk. Because she's going to make sure y'all go. You see her work ethic. She gets up 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, whatever time she got to get up to make sure the order is fulfilled and it's perfected to her likings.
Yeah, yes. And
Look, you hear me? I say you like this because you're going to like it.
Yes.
Her liking.
And I always make sure that I'm sending pictures, like, let me know how you feel, because I hate to be in the dark. I don't ever want to be on an episode of what she asked for and what she got. Because, like, my first question is like, okay, she got this, but how much did she pay for it?
Yeah.
And, like, so the price went up. My price always goes up anyway because, you know, the ingredients go up. So it's people's like, oh, well, you want $300 for this cake? Yeah, I gotta pay myself. I gotta get the ingredients. I gotta go
And the
shop.
quality,
And it's a good cake.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought that's how much cakes cost anyway.
I did too.
I mean,
you can always go to Walmart. I mean, they got them for like
well,
$5.
you hear people that don't want to spend cash, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
of course that would probably be too much.
Then I always tell people like, then that's not your audience. So I would rather now. I want to step away from the baking, but I would rather teach somebody.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Oh yeah.
So I've done classes for children, which was fun because especially children that's really interested in like how do you do this and how do you do that. And I tell the parents like invest in these kids because this baking stuff can take them places. Like you don't always have to be a ball player, rapper, dancer. You don't always have to do that. A lawyer. You can make bank and cakes. You can make a lot of, and it's not about money if you have that passion to do it. Like anything in the kitchen, I love. So you want to buy me something, get me something for the kitchen. I can care less about anything else. I've always been a person that wanted to be in the kitchen. My grandmother taught me how to cook, so I definitely can cook. We come from a family of people that can really, really cook. I even sat down with this lady. She was 103 years old, an Italian lady, Angelina. I had bought a pasta maker for 75 cents at a yard sale at this nursing home I worked at. And she was like, oh my God, can I have it? And I was like, no, I want to keep it. I said, but what I'll do is I'll leave it here if you teach me how to use it. You can use it as long as you want to. Just teach me how to use it. So she said, okay. It was still in the box, and the tag was from 1919.
Wow.
And it said Gimbals on there for $100, and I got it for 75 cents.
Wow.
She taught me how to make pierogi. She taught me how to make gravy. She taught me how to make spaghettis, like all authentic. And she was from Sicily, so she taught me all authentic recipes. So when it's time for me to make pasta, I'm like pulling out that pasta maker and I'm making it from scratch. I'm like, I got all of her recipes that she gave to me. She gave me a recipe for biscottis, and I was like, that's when it clicked to me like, you should do bacon. Because I've always knew how to cook and had like recipes from different cultures, because I have like a whole bunch of different recipe books. I used to do like an international Thanksgiving. So of course we got our traditional soul food, that's cool. But now what else are we gonna do? So we may have bread from Scandinavia, we may have baked fish from Africa, we may have like something from Australia, because it's from every culture that I was like, let's introduce this. Because one thing I love is to stimulate a palate.
Oh yeah.
Like I love to stimulate the palate. Like I like savory cupcakes. I mean, if I do, I like savory more than sweet.
Okay.
So I like a savory. I'm not a fan of chicken, so the chicken and waffles, y'all can have all of that kind of thing. But I prefer savory over sweet now because I'm older, so don't want no diabetes.
Real talk.
You gotta change, you gotta kind of change your diet as you grow older. But I decided like, well, let me learn how to bake. And then I went to culinary school, and I was doing my last semester and the school closed down.
Wow.
They filed for bankruptcy, so I was like, but I got these recipe books though. But I know how to make this bread though, so let me see like how I can play that together. And I was not taught in school how to decorate cakes.
Oh, wow, okay.
Anything that they taught is for right-handed people. I'm left-handed, so I do everything the opposite way. So I went to YouTube University. It's amazing. It's free. I went to.
They got everything.
They got everything. I am part of the alumni of Google. So Google alumni. So I went there and I was just like learning things on my own. So anything you see me do is stuff that I learned on
So
my
you
own.
self-taught.
I self-taught. So I know what it's like to teach somebody, and I can teach you left-handed and right-handed. I'm just like, just do the opposite of what I do.
The best of both worlds. I love it. I love it. I love
Yes.
it. That's dope. Like I said, I know you're going big places with whatever. See, it's some people that like may touch certain things and they don't really like be impactful with what they do. But then there's certain people that really touch things and it's like, I'm going to really do this and it's going to make a difference and it's going to stand out and the people going to know about it, right?
Yes.
Hence to what we're looking at right now, right? So I mean, like, I know you're going to do what you do regardless. Long as this and y'all sign them checks, she's coming.
I'm coming.
That's it. That's all.
And I donate too. I feel like that's very, very, very important because some people may not have it. So even if you do have it, it's always good to give back
All day long.
Like you were at my daughter's sweet 16. Like when she has a party, we going all out. But don't bring her a gift because she has everything that she could ever ask for. So I was just running back. Her sweet 16, it was a pajama jam theme. You had to wear a set of pajamas and bring a set of pajamas. If you didn't wear pajamas, you had to bring 2 sets of pajamas, and we donated them to the children's shelter. I believe that night she helped 117 families, and she won the role model of the year for the city. So I'm like, give back. So even now when she's like, oh, I want another birthday party, I'm like, you about to be 20, but you're not getting gifts. So what we giving back, kind of thing. So it's important to give back to help other people if you can. It's not gonna kill me to teach you how to make a cupcake. It's not, because your clientele is not gonna be my clientele. And if I have the knowledge, I'm going to give to you. Like, I hate being in this industry sometimes because you got so many people around that do the exact same thing, and they don't want to help you. They don't want to teach you nothing. And you guys know, you guys have the podcast, and it's like, y'all, you may know somebody that's bigger, that has a bigger platform, and I'm not going to put you onto it. I'm not stealing your clientele or your audience. And there's not a drop on, it's not a drop on, excuse my language, because I'm about to cuss.
It's Unfiltered Discussions.
Okay. I tell people, it ain't a drop on money or dick. It's out there. like it's really out there.
No, real talk.
Yeah, because it's crazy because people act like what's going to be you is you. So you can show somebody how to make a cupcake all day. They're not going to be you. Exactly. Everybody has their own lane and how they want to do things, regardless of how you show them. So you're not taking away from nobody, like you said. Like, what's the issue?
I'm not going to give you my recipe, but I'm going to teach you how to do it. I'm going to teach you how to decorate.
And that's priceless, though. That's the priceless piece because everybody bring their own little sprinkles and sparkles to the thing, right? But if you teaching me how to do something, I could have that forever.
You're gonna find your niche. That's the thing. People gotta find their niche.
Yep.
And that's the crazy thing about it. Like, you can't. It's sad because like even when we was doing the podcast, it was like, Dad, how do you do? It's like everything is self-taught now. So you had to learn how to get equipment, learn how to get certain things. It's like a lot. People are very, very like stingy with the information.
And then they like, oh, Ash, sign up for my webinar.
Pay $2,000. You look around, you thinking you getting a deal. By the end of the webinar, they're telling you $3,000 and $4,000. All that.
They didn't tell you shit on the webinar.
No, they didn't.
They didn't tell you nothing. They like,
yo.
So yo, Ashley, like I was baking this cupcake, right? And then I ran into, oh my God, Tupac, and he was like, oh, that's a good cupcake, and he takes the cupcake. So now I'm out there, I'm on, and I made $1,000. And I'm driving, I'm in a jet, and I got the latest Maybach, and I got this and that, and you can do it too for the small price of. It's like, what?
They robbing people.
So I'm sitting through a whole hour of your webinar.
But I wasted a lot of money doing it, especially, I know that you do real estate.
Yes, I do.
So my passion is real estate, right? And I'm sitting in these webinars, and the next thing you know, oh, that's $7,000. And I'm looking around like, well, what happened? I'm confused. So now I've been just trying to do my own research.
So there you have my information. Here go back for it.
Look at the business.
I love it.
Thank you. You bring it up as already sitting there.
So how did you get into real estate?
I got into how did I get into real estate? So I have a friend I don't have a friend. I have a brother.
Okay.
Salim is my brother. He owns Whimsical.
Okay.
Whimsicals.
Yeah.
So
The
Goodies.
popsicle thing, right?
Yeah. That's my brother. So he introduced me to a girl named Brandy. That's my friend. Brandy's in the real estate, so I just started doing things with her. Brandy the Brave. Brandy the Brave is her real estate team. So I just kind of joined in with her, mentoring under her, learning about the business. And one day I was like, you know what? I'm going to just take the test. I'm just going to school. So it wasn't something I was 100% really interested in because I looked at the commission rates, how much money he was going to be able to make, and I was like, nah, it's not really for me. But I'm a networker, so I can go into any room and I can talk to anybody, and I can move. I can go to any neighborhood and move and shake with the best of them. So I was like, oh, this is probably a good idea for me. So that's how I actually got into it. Did my research, looked at different states, looked at the need for it within our communities with minorities and especially single black women and single minority women, to just kind of change the narrative and not fall into that whole cycle of I gotta depend on the government, or I gotta depend on a partner, or I gotta depend on my parents or my family or friends to get me out of whatever situation. Now, home ownership is a big deal.
Absolutely.
And I tell people, like, buy a house. Even if you don't want to live in that house, you can make money off that house because it's always going to be the asset. Like for me now, I'm at a crossroads. I'm like, I always wanted a huge house. I only have one kid. She don't even want to live at home anymore. And I'm like begging her like every morning, like, you sure you want to leave me? She's like, Mom, you gotta find me a house. I gotta go. Like, I gotta go. And I'm like, you gonna take the dog too? She's like, we gotta go. So now I'm like, I don't want to buy a house anymore. I want to buy a condo. It's just me. Yeah. I mean, I always be like, oh, they overpriced apartments, but that's cool too. You ain't gotta fix nothing.
Yeah.
You got
your homeowners association.
Exactly. You got all the amenities. It's secure. I'd rather have myself a condo now. So, I mean, even with women or males or whomever that is looking to get out of just living with somebody else and taking the next step, I always, like I said, it's important just to have your own, because that's something nobody can take away from you. My grandmother told me, no matter, you ain't gotta pay no other bills where you stay at, but make sure you pay for that rent or make sure you pay that mortgage.
Absolutely.
She said you can find light. She said you need light, go outside in the daytime. But you make sure that you pay for a roof over your head. You need water, go to the store, buy cases of water. Don't worry, you can use that, but always make sure, because it's so much homelessness and
There's a lot.
And yeah, it's mostly mental health that people don't really address and help.
And I learned a lot about homelessness doing case management, and I found that some people really choose to be homeless and they are comfortable with staying out there. Some people I've learned, like some people that don't have to worry about paying no bills and they'll just fend for themselves and they rather just keep their own money in their pocket.
Yep, and then it's reintroduced trauma.
Yes.
Because living at home may have triggered this. Like, you never know things that trigger people. Like, I had a conversation with my friend last night, and he said that I triggered him. I said, how I trigger you? Like, what did I do? Because you don't know certain triggers and things that happen. If I say something like, oh, you stupid. Oh, that's a trigger for me. I'm like,
yeah, I was called stupid all my life as a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't do that. And I'm like, I ain't the one who did that to you. Yeah, but you reintroduced the trauma. And I'm like, okay, so now you have to kind of like learn people. And even with the homeless people, because I used to feed them, we used to feed them every Wednesday, Quad Giving Wednesday with CMI 215. Yeah, CMI 215, which is a nonprofit through King Saladin's organization. So we go out Quad Giving Wednesdays, we give out food and things like that. But even before then, I used to get food from the Four Seasons Hotel and walk underground the Suburban Station, 15th Street and stuff. And I would give them food. Like the first week or so, they wouldn't take the food from me. So now I'm walking with these big bags of sandwiches. Like, what am I supposed to do with it? And this is good food. It's like oven, like fresh carved turkey and stuff like that. And the lady, she said, we don't really take food from people. And I said, why? She said, because people do things to the food.
Oh, wow.
And I said, well, I'm not doing anything to the food. Like, I want you to have the food. And I'm like, so she would not take it. So I said, well, how about we sit down and have a sandwich together? Now, why am I sitting on the ground with a homeless person eating a sandwich and I'm not even in that position? Because it's a connection.
You built that rapport.
I built that relationship with her. And then after that, when she would see me, she was like, these are good sandwiches. And she would like tell people, come get these sandwiches, stuff like that. Yeah, so now I'm getting rid of these sandwiches. I'm not telling her where I'm getting them from, but these are fresh sandwiches because they're not going to do anything but throw them out anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I like the fact that you met her where she was at.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Because you can't be up here and expect somebody to be
That
the same
part.
way. As I used to work at Keystone First. And everybody like, so in medical management, and where I managed the city of Chester. And I learned so much about these people that the literacy level is so low. It is so depressing. It's like, I don't want to say all they know how to do is scam because that's not true. That would be false. But to be a 64-year-old female and only know your name, your date of birth, your social security number, your children's names, and your phone number, and know nothing else, it's like, that's a problem. I can't read. Well, how you can't read? Oh, I can't really write that well. I can sign my name. And you don't even know what you're signing. And you go to these doctors, and these doctors are giving you anything, and you're taking it. They want you to take your blood sugar, but you can't read the numbers, so your blood sugar may say 475, and you're thinking, oh, this is good for me. Not even being able to see it on the chart that's like super high for a blood sugar to be. And then they just continue to over-medicate, and then they wonder why there's poverty. They wonder why there's crime. They wonder why the people are in and out of the hospital because they're sick because they don't understand. So what I would do is go in and I want to get to the root of the problem. I don't care that you got to take care of 7 of your grandkids. I don't care that your son over there is smoking crack. That don't mean, tell me to go outside and smoke it when I'm coming in. Like, none of that means anything to me. I want to know about you. I want to know what you understand about your body, about, like, how can I support you? And like, that was pretty much my job, was supposed to be my job, but they like, oh, you get too personal, you get too close to these people, but you want to build their rapport and build their trust so that they can spread the word within the community so that we can help them. And then it's all about effective communication.
All day long.
Like, you need to have really good interpersonal communication skills. So if you're talking to me, I can't be like, all right, Ashley.
They're
No.
active listening.
Exactly, because 9 times out of 10 people listen with the intent to respond.
All day long.
We don't want to hear the information. So I always repeat back to you, well, what I heard you say, Ashley, is that you're trying to get into real estate. The webinars is ripping you off. Here's my information. Call me. I may not know everything, but if you're ready to take the test, I paid for these classes. I passed the test. I need my password and username. What is that going to hurt? That's not going to hurt me at all. You want to prep for the test? Here you go. You need a book? I have one. I'm not using it. Don't buy it. I'll give it to you. Any questions that you have, call me. If I don't have the information or the answers, I'm going to help you find it. And people don't do that. I don't understand why. I don't get it. That crab in the barrel mentality.
All day long.
Yeah.
I mean, people would hate to see, this is my thing. If I already did it, why can't I show you? You're not stepping on my toes. I've done it already. Here it is. This is that. Like she just said.
Why not be an ally?
Yeah.
Why not be an ally?
And that's just the real truth of it all. Like, my experience is going to be mine and yours is going to be yours.
But we can walk through it together.
Yeah.
Yes.
And everybody bring different things.
Yeah, we can walk through it together. Because if I'm tripping and falling, I want you to be there to help pick me up. I don't want to be, listen, these knees is bad. I don't want to be like, shit, and roll me over. Somebody got to help me my ass up. So you can stop me before it even get to that point. So, and like, I'm going to stop you. I'm like, yo, you probably shouldn't deal with that person. Based off of things that I've seen. And if you decide to deal with that person, that's on you.
I did my part.
I gave you the game. I gave you the game.
Your own corners.
Yeah, like, you ain't got to spend $600 to mentor with this person. Why am I paying you to ride around in the car with you to see you doing backhanded shit? No.
Yeah.
I can't understand that. Like, and then they'll stalk you down, those people. I just can't
It's all
understand.
about this.
Ooh.
Yeah. Or their association.
Mm-hmm.
I met such and such. Like, even, so I became a celebrity baker. I became a celebrity baker, is what they call me. And, really, really good friend. Shout out to Alvina. I love her. Amazing. She'd be like, oh yeah, anywhere we would go and stuff, or if I'm somewhere, did you meet Latifah? She's a celebrity baker. Her stuff is amazing. And she would just push and promote. So, and that's just who she is. It's not hurting her. She doesn't represent, she's not my publicist. She's a publicist, but she's not my publicist. And she's dope as hell. I think it's more media on Instagram. I'll pull it up and get the information. But she's super amazing and dope, a beautiful woman. And it wasn't hurting her to just tell somebody, yo, she bakes. And I have people that I know on a regular that are in great positions that hang out with celebrities all the time, go to celebrity parties, you know, get in a bag with them. And I met her one time and she started doing it. So she started putting me on to different events and things like that. And I got people that I know that I've done work with them and for them. And I'm like, you ain't even let me know that this person was having a party. You, if I know that I hang out with Beyonce and you bake cakes, I'm not gonna be like, oh, Beyonce gonna get a cake from this person. I'm gonna be like, yo, you know, Beyonce birthday coming up such and such a day. Let's give her a surprise. It don't even have to be the big elaborate cake, but yo, let's make her a small cake, because that's gonna put you on.
Absolutely.
It's not gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt me to pass the information along. If she never uses you again, well, suck this up. But
I gave you the opportunity.
But I gave you the opportunity. That's all it is. It's all about who you know, because a lot of times these people really don't be, like you said, not genuine and they trash. I call people trash in a minute. Like,
I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day.
yeah.
And that's just it. I mean, I just love it. I just like your outlook on things, right? Most people won't look at it like that. Or they'd be like, oh, I got mine. I don't care how you get yours. I'm not helping nobody get yours. I had this struggle. I had to go through this. I paid for this. I paid for this. So I'm not going to help you. You go figure it out like I had to figure it out. But you know how many blessings you get when you passing it along?
Yes.
That's the first one. That's a blessing within itself. And then you don't know how many other people you're helping by doing just a little bit of something. I could give you a little words of advice. And I could have helped anything or fix a small thing you couldn't have the last part of the answer to for something. It's just that simple. It's nothing. I always say it costs you nothing. Even to say hello to somebody if you're walking down the street. You probably made that damn day. Nobody probably ever said good morning.
Okay.
You know?
And you find yourself breadcrumbing, and I have to go back to that part, because a lot of the times you're asking people stuff and they're giving you surface answers, and it's like, like, well, what about this? They still giving you surface answers, and it's like, why should I have to feel like I'm pulling teeth or begging you for information when you're sitting right in front of me and you have vital information that I can utilize at the end of the day? And I've ran into a lot of people like that, and I'm like, listen, it's cool. Don't even worry. It'll make you go harder.
Yep.
When you gotta go get it yourself.
So I'm gonna give you the word of advice that somebody gave to me. My friend just going in on me, and I'm like, you heard about Phyllis? Did you just call me? What did he call me yesterday? He called me incompetent. You're fucking incompetent. It's like, oh my God, I can't talk right now. So I'm like crying. So I was like, he's like, no, what are you crying for? What does incompetent mean? You're giving me 20% of 100. That's incompetence. And I'm like, no, I'm trying. It's like, no, you're not. You're not trying because you're not giving it your all. So I'm so upset and I'm all like super stupid emotional. And he's like, remove the emotion. So I remove the emotion, I take a seat and I'm like, damn, like you're right. So in business, you remove the emotion.
You got to.
And they always say that.
But it's hard. We're women, we're emotional. We gonna cry in the car. We gonna cry in the car. But when I'm there, I got on this game face. You can't fuck with me. You can't light a flame to this wick. Even if I'm giving it to you, you can't do it. Like you're not gonna be able to do what I do. You can't move like I move.
So, Kevin, I love to talk and have it on here. Real talk. No, I love it. So, okay, we want to slide into your book, right? Where did it come? Like
this thing. So, all right, check out my book, y'all.
Yes.
So it's Evoke. We see my little sister on the front. So
yeah,
I did not shout out the pod. I did not tell her she was gonna be on the cover. She sent me these pictures. This is how shady I am. She sent me these pictures, and I was like, "Oh, I need something for my cover." So then I said, "Oh, can you write the foreword for my book?" And she wrote the foreword for the book. So I was like, "Girl, guess what? Look at the cover." She was like, oh, "You put me on the cover, yeah, girl. I ain't gonna pay nobody." So the book came about. I don't know. All right, so I was working, and I decided I don't want to work anymore. I got tired of the passive racism, and I was like, "I'm gonna kill this." So I'm dark skinned, so I am the token angry black girl, which is cool. She's lighter than me, you're lighter than me. She could say, "Man, I'm sick of this bitch." Oh my God, is everything okay? How can we help you? And I could be like, "Yo, I'm sick of this bitch." Oh my God, she's so aggressive. Right? So that paper bag colorism shit is real. So I got tired of the passive racism. I'm like, okay, I'm making good money. I'm making like close to like 65,000 a year. And I was like, you know what? Mid-conversation with one of the general managers, I just stood up like, yo, I gotta go. What do you mean? Put my badge on the desk, man, fuck this job. So I always was a writer. I would like, I would write to myself. Every day I write a letter to God, which I feel like is important. Like you could talk to God, he knows what's up. I be like the boy God, so you can talk to him, he knows what's up, whatever. But I write a letter. If I'm having a bad day, I write like, oh, this is bad. Like, what am I doing? Because I want to feel a different kind of connection. And what I would do is, if it's horrible and I want to and I need to let it go, I write it out. I go in the yard, I tear it up, and I set it on fire. Because once it's on fire, it's gone. What can I do with it? I'm not even going to remember it, so I don't even dwell on it. So I had my back against the wall. I had paid off all my bills. I was like, I'll have zero debt. Now my savings is getting depleted. My stocks is like going to shit. Like, what am I going to do? So I would send like little things to my friend, and he was like, yo, you need to put this stuff in a book. And I was like, I don't want to put it in a book. Nobody wants to read that. And he was like, no, seriously, like this is really good stuff. Like these are good reads. Like you don't realize what the law has blessed you with. So I'm like, okay. So I sat down one day and I literally wrote this book, wrote it, printed it, and started selling it within 33 days.
Wow.
People are like, it took you that was that quick. I'm like, yeah.
And it ain't no flimsy book.
It's not. And I haven't read it. I
So
put it
beautiful
together.
distraction.
Oh, Lord have mercy. So I definitely know what that one is. Let me go back. What page is it? What page is that one on? Because that one right there. Ooh, yeah, that one right there.
Yeah. So what?
That's
what?
a doozy. That was a good one. Yeah. So that person was definitely my beautiful distraction. I needed a distraction from the world and the things that I was going through in relationship with friends, girlfriends, and all that good stuff. And I needed a distraction. The first piece that actually went into this was changing the narrative.
Okay.
Change the narrative of a statistic. I did a speech when Toni Morrison passed away at the public library. Somebody had asked me to do it. I did it, and it was all about changing the narrative of a statistic. You're a statistic, you're a female, you're black. I'm a statistic, I'm a female, I'm black, I'm a mother. You're a statistic, you know, so we're all, so how do you change that narrative from people looking at you as just this little nigga? So I was in a 1% of black women that worked in corporate America that had a high position. So how do I change that narrative? What do I do? And I'm doing all of this with no real education. I don't have a college degree. I have a high school diploma, and I'm coming in and I'm telling y'all what to do.
I love it.
Because you don't need a college degree. You can finesse whatever. But I got that experience and I got that connection. So I'm gonna come in there and I'm gonna tell you like, yo, this shit is wrong. This is how we're gonna do it. So after I didn't use her exact things or whatever like that, but just based off of things that she had said and talking to other people that had been products of incest and things like that, I was like, well, now let me write a story about that. But a beautiful distraction, that's probably like one of my least favorites because I was so vulnerable in that moment.
Nobody likes to be vulnerable, but that's the best place to be.
Oh, that was
You strip yourself of everything.
I was naked. I was like, and I wanted to live in a nudist colony, but not that day. I was just like, Lord, clothe me. But then, like, when I wrote it and then I actually sent it to him, and he was like, damn. That's all you can say, like, damn. And I haven't read it because I could see like where I made a mistake in. It's like an actor that can't watch themselves on screen. Like
Such a perfectionist.
I cannot read it, and I'm like, oh shit, I just name dropped. Ooh, like because I really did name drop in one part. I was like, I'm not sitting in it, but part 2 is coming.
I love it.
I got 3 actually projects that I've been working on. One is super crazy emotional. So I got Evoke 2 coming out. The Bridge is Over, because Bridges is probably my favorite story. And then so Bridges is about burning bridges and building bridges and relationships, and it starts with the boy from childhood, and it goes all the way up to adulthood with a bunch of twists and turns, and it's based on these kids and people from South Philly, because I'm from a thing. And then, so that's probably a good one. That's like probably like one of my favorites. But Evoke 2, The Bridge is Over, is like the finalization of that. And it's some more of beautiful distractions in there. Definitely is.
Okay.
I think the beautiful distraction was a cry out to say like, I want to be in love. I've never been in love before. Ever. Got time for that. People look at me like, really? I'm like, no. Like, I can emotionally detach. I'll be like, oh my God, he's so special. Look at him. He's so cute. And then the next day, I'm like, man, fuck that nigga. Deleting up all my phone, everything.
Yeah, that's your defense mechanism.
It's not my defense
Yes.
mechanism. I ain't got time for all that.
Listen. She's gonna be in love. I don't care what she says. Okay.
I am in love with me.
Yeah, that's one part of love.
That's the 100%
Listen.
part of love.
Yeah, and then the other part is when you let somebody else in and love them as well.
Who got time for that?
You will.
I got love.
I'm gonna laugh and look back at this when she walking down the aisle. I'm like, I told her.
Wait, and I gotta be in love the whole time. Like I gotta speak to him.
You ain't gotta listen.
You don't gotta have no
about
conditions
not
placed
every
on it.
day,
It's
no.
gonna come when you least
Just
expect it.
be you and
No
just
conditions. No.
And no, you're not gonna like somebody every day. That's not how life goes.
I don't want
You can hate him and still love him at the same. Now, throw the shoe at his head and then go rub it. He'll be alright. Okay. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about
I
it.
don't think I want to do it though. I don't think
Trust
I
me.
wanna
Look, Tunchi about to go out. Her and Grandma leaving.
Yeah, they got the roll.
Exactly. So now it's time for you to turn up.
You know what? I'm gonna turn up in my damn house slippers and my robe.
And he gonna be right next to you in his.
No,
So-
me and my 17 pillows on the bed, drinking my aquapana and fussing at the neighbors for making too much noise.
Come on, that is like the
Grandma, now I'm really grandma. I'm really a grandma.
No,
Yelling because I can't get nobody to pass me an edible. That's
Yeah. No, it's coming. Seriously, love is a beautiful thing.
I mean,
we all got our perceptions of it and our experiences with it. But when you really get it, it's like, damn, this is it. This is what everybody.
I think
is
I'm
talking
afraid of that feeling because of the opposite side. Like,
But that's the thing. You got something to compare it to, so now you're gonna know that it's real.
yeah,
That's the thing.
But I don't want the flip side of that coin when it's like I don't want that.
But you got the twos now, so you don't get back to the other side. You understand what I'm saying?
You
You
know
know
what
what
it's
it looks like. You know what it feel like. You know what
I
you
don't
don't.
want that.
And the preventative, you know best. Everything you were saying, building a rapport, being your friend first. You use friend a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's the safe word. My friend.
This is
yeah.
my friend.
Exactly.
This is my mother. This is my boo. It's my prison bag. Like,
Yeah, you know what I mean?
oh, he's so special. He got like 175 in jail right now. Look. But 175 years is not that long. Trust me, y'all can wait now.
Yes, I know it's a good thing though. Like,
Yeah. And you know what you've been through, so you know what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to deal with, and all these different things. So you take lessons out of things, so you know.
That is true. That's why I decided at one point to date myself. I was like, I don't want to be in a relationship. Let me practice celibacy. People like, you celibate? Hell yeah, what I need this for? Like, I learned me. I went on a date with me. I
love it.
I fell so in love with myself. Like, I love it. Now, only certain people just can't come to me.
Yeah,
That energy. So I'm gonna say my friend because that's my man. That's my man. I love him. I'm not in love, but I definitely love him.
Wait. Okay, I gotta ask you. She said, "That's my man's. I love him, but I'm not in love."
I'm not in love with him.
Okay, what's the difference for you?
It's a big difference. I don't know, but I know I ain't in love.
The difference between
So how
dating
you
and
know you love
love.
him? So how you know you
Go
love him?
ahead, Shannon.
I knew I loved him the first day I met him when I was a kid.
Listen, I don't know.
No,
Listen,
listen out there. But I'm not in love though. But I knew when I first met him, and Pop was me, so stupid. So I was like 12 or 13. I was like, I love that man. I mean, I love that boy. I love that boy. And he had just walked in the room. It was just something about him.
Listen,
You see it on her face. First of all,
similar here now.
we see this on her face, like
Yes,
she
see
look,
nothing on
and
my face. I'm
and
not
you know
in
how we know
love.
it because you kind of opened up a little bit about it. Because a lot of people that are not in love, they're not going to
I'm
go.
not in
You're in
love.
No, it sounds better to say I'm not in love, right?
But I'm not.
Okay, let me put it to you.
Can I be in denial if that's
A little bit, just a little
Okay.
bit, but as long as you get up out of it soon.
I'm going to stay in it forever. I'm not in love. I definitely love him. I know that I love the open communication that we do kind of have, and I like we
Number
spoke
one.
yesterday. Yep. So we spoke yesterday, and he was like, "You have to make a choice. You want to be right or you want to be happy." So I was like, "What does that look like?" I said, "I want both." He's like, "No, you can't have both. They can't coexist. You either be happy or you be right. If you want to be happy, then allow me to lead." I've never wanted to say, let somebody lead. Because I'm not going to let you lead me into destruction.
Listen, you gotta be submissive. Listen.
So
I know. Listen,
God,
I know it's so. Listen, we in the same boat. I know that it sounds insane. I'm telling you.
I can't submit.
You know, I'm like, dang, how do I know that this is the right way? How do I know he's going to make sure everything? There's your guy.
That's my guy.
That's your guy.
So I got to trust that
That's him. Listen, yes.
So no
You
cheating.
gotta get back down to the no.
Well, I'm a classic cheater.
Well, stop it.
Well, stop it.
Oh, she done put it out there.
But see, you know
I am.
yourself. You're in
I know
tune
that-
with yourself.
I know that I'm like, as soon as things don't go the way that I want it to go, I'm like, all right, I'm out. But so we didn't have a breakup. We had a break in communication.
Okay.
Of course, it's a back and forth thing. I'm like, you hurt my feelings, you yada yada yada. But he removed the emotion. I'm emotional like crazy. So now I'm like in my feelings about everything. He's like, I don't even remember what happened yesterday. I don't even remember. Like, how you still holding on to certain things? So yesterday probably was like the first time we talked to each other in a minute, and it was like we never stopped talking. And then he was like, this is why I said X, Y, and Z. So this is why you felt A, B, and C. So we kind of came to like almost a happy medium. Like I was like, I still want to smack you if I see you, kind of thing. Gotta tag you one time, but because I was like, I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna go. Ooh, let me see how many points I got on my American Express. Man, I'm gonna fly to wherever he is. I'm gonna punch him in the face. I'm getting back on the plane. Like I'm enraged at this point because I can't believe you said that to me. But but I kind of needed it to be said.
Absolutely.
I just don't receive certain things well. Yeah. Like nobody tells me what to do.
Oh, sit next to me, please.
Oh
Let me
my
hear
God.
it now. I mean, come on, what's happening?
The fact that she was able
Right
to
now.
sit there and process that was the whole big thing. You were able to process what was going on. Because if you weren't like, whatever, no, you're.
It took me like 2 weeks to process it.
But you processed
It's hard,
it.
but it
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah, it took me like 2 weeks to process it, but whatever.
Go get that, man. I don't know where you at. I know you're gonna watch this.
No, he don't even know about it, so he's not.
Well, you need to let him know.
No.
And he needs to watch this and see exactly what's going on here. Because at the end of the day, like I said, when
I can't be soft, no. I'm my father's child.
You don't have to wear the pants.
Let me be Lil B Mike.
Okay.
Let me be Lil B Mike. I'm already shaped like you said.
But yeah, no, that's a good thing. I'm glad that you're in that space. You're open. Because honestly, the more you speak about it, you could tell that the layers is coming down, right?
Yeah, I'm removing some parts, and it's a process. True.
Absolutely.
I'm not going all in. I'll let y'all know when I'm in love. I come back.
Good. Yeah.
Okay.
We gotta hear more about.
Yeah.
See, it sounds like a book.
I'm gonna wear a T-shirt that say I'm in love.
Yeah.
With his face on it. On some
Oh yeah,
insecure
let him
shit.
know it's real.
I'm with him. If he and he better wear one that say I want her. Before it's over.
Exactly. No, I love it. So you're saying Evoke 2 is coming out?
Evoke
When
2
can
is
they
coming
expect
out.
that?
Ooh, I don't know, too much pressure. I was trying to have it done by the end of the summer, but that did not happen. But it will be out hopefully within the first quarter of 2022. The other project that I'm working on is with Tunchi. Tunchi is my baby. So whoever doesn't know, I do have a daughter that has special needs, which is very, very difficult. Excuse me, not special needs as far as like anything mental, as far as mental retardation, anything like that. But she's medically fragile. So I had her at 19 weeks gestation. Then my little stinky not 14 ounces, 13.86 ounce baby that is now going on 20 years old. So we decided to write a book together because in my eyes, I'm kind of like a helicopter mom. And I'm not letting anything get in the way or harm her because I have to protect her. And something as simple as her going to the doctors. She has a phobia of gloves and white lab coats. So if you come there with white lab coats and gloves on, you better be prepared to be on the ground because she's going to take you down. So I'm like, no, it's okay. You can just go ahead. You can just deal with it. And that's how I'm looking at it through my lenses. But through her lenses, it's like, Mom, no, this is scary to me because every time in the past somebody's come to me with this stuff on, they stuck me with a needle. They hurt me. I don't want this hurt. So it's titled Through These Scars. So it's life through her eyes and life through my eyes, and how we come together and have a happy medium and help her to be successful.
I love it.
So she's doing a children's version of it, and we have the adult version coming out and Evoke 2.
I love it.
And then I'm done writing.
Yeah. Oh, you are?
Yeah, then I'll be done writing because I feel like I've told enough.
No, you gotta go. You gotta get them the two sides of love and not being in love.
It'll probably be an Evoke 2. Because this wasn't in love. Did this seem like in love? Did it? Oh, it was deep light. It was definitely not in love.
But yeah, but they need that comparison. You know that.
All right, so this is not in love. Evoke 2 will be in love.
Okay, good, good. Now we know what we up against. Yeah, but no, yeah, well, of course, you know, been knowing you damn near all my life, right?
Yeah, 30
I remember when you had Tunchi, right? I mean, I can literally remember, I don't even know where the heck, Tunchi was still in the hospital, right? And we went out, me and your partner, this was at Nifty 50s, and we were sitting around.
God, so
yes.
But the one on Passion Avenue.
Exactly, that's
That
how
was
you know it was a
2002.
long, exactly, it was a long time ago.
And
She was still in the hospital, little thing, right? And it's crazy to see how far she's come, right?
Yeah.
I know it came with a lot of sacrifice for you, a lot of, you know, emotions, a lot of, you know, because it, again, as a parent, it's hard to be a parent, right? But to add on something extra to it is a whole nother story, you know?
I was young. I was 19, and I hate to say it, but I never wanted to be a mom. It was nothing in me. It's like, oh, you really want to be? I don't like kids. I don't like kids. Don't even come to my house. Like, I never wanted to be a mom. And then once I had her, my aunt Maxine, Chicken, and my grandma tag team me every day, calling. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. My head was like, I'm not having no children. Like, I cannot do this. And then to have a child with special needs, and I'm 19, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like, how am I supposed to really handle this? And watching her go through her first open heart surgery at 53 days is like, and I'm literally watching it through the screen because she was so fragile they couldn't even move her out of the NICU. So I'm looking at this baby to kind of give people a visual, which is kind of like nasty. When people be outside those little abortion clinics or whatever with the babies in the jar, that was my baby. She had one layer of skin. You could literally see all of her organs inside of her body. They wrapped her in saran wrap, so I'm watching her kind of develop outside of the womb. And then once I get her home, because she was in the NICU for 8 months, the day I signed her out, the day before her 8th month anniversary, she came home. I took her right to the projects. I took her right to Precious House. They would always ask about her, and they was like, oh, she wasn't going to make it. And I took her around a bunch of kids. I don't care how clean or dirty these kids is. I want to see her thrive, and she thrived. And she stayed home for a little bit, then she went back in and came home after a month. But there was really no attachment. She didn't want me as her. I mean, not that she didn't want me, but I wasn't the person that took care of her for 8 months. So she didn't really. She would cry for the nurses. The nurses were amazing because they would actually come and stay at my house to help parent her, because what am I supposed to do with this little baby? They got a heart monitor, they got oxygen, they got a feeding tube. So I'm like, I don't know what to do, and then I don't know what to expect. So I'm thinking that she's not going to walk, she's not going to talk. But the one thing I remember my grandmother saying is like, that's my princess, and she, whatever she wants to do, let her do it. She could never do anything wrong. So when she got older and she wanted to cuss, I don't care, do what you want to do. Like, you survived all of this, you got free will. When she said to me, oh, I want to be a dancer, I put her in dance school. She can't dance at all, no rhythm, none. Oh my God, it was a waste of money. She wanted to be a cheerleader. Go ahead, be a cheerleader. I'm out there, I'm cheering, mom. I'm doing splits on the damn field. Of course, I need help to get up, but I'm going to get down there. I'm out there, like, I'm doing anything she wanted to ride horses. I paid for her to be an equestrian. Anything that she wanted to do, I never treated her as if she had special needs. Because I feel like when you do that, it kind of cripples the child. Like, get up, go do this. Like, and people going to treat you with respect, and people going to teach, you know, you're going to teach people how to treat you. And if you go in there like, oh, I'm sick, I got special needs, they're going to treat you like that. I'm not coddling you. I'm going to treat, I'm going to, you know, even down to the point where I think last year we were talking about sex. I'm very open with her about it. No, she's not active. She said she never wants to do it. She doesn't want a boyfriend. I am supporting that. Okay. But I was like, you know what we're going to do? Because she said something. She was singing a song. She said something in the dick. I said, you know what you just said? She's like, what? I said, you know what it is? She said, no. I said, that's a penis. She's like, I would never say. So now she's crying. I'm like, so now you don't even know what the genitalia really is. So let me teach you about this. And she's like, well, they talk about sex in school. My friends talk about it. I said, your friends talk about it? Well, let me teach you about it. Tomorrow, we go condom shopping. So I'm all like excited. So we get to Rite Aid. And I was like, what we come here to do? She's like, go condom shopping. So I'm making a game out of it, and I'm teaching her things, and then I take her to the pharmacy, like, tell her about Plan D. Like, so that she can have this information, because nobody on the street gonna be able to tell my baby nothing at all. You can try to game her, but my mom told me date. I'm like, even when you get out there, if you decide that you want to date because you want your own apartment, I'll pay for it. Nobody can tell you anything. Nobody can come to you and be like, oh, Ash, let me buy you these sneakers. I don't need you to buy me these sneakers. My mom can take care of my sneakers. I'm like, people gonna run game on you because she sees the good in everybody. And when I was talking to her about like slavery and stuff, she was like, oh, you gotta be kidding. Peach people would never do that. I'm like, what?
You know what?
Peach people would
But
never
it's
do
funny
that.
because
not the people.
I'm like, yo, like, this is real. And then we heard somebody say, you stupid nigga. She was like, why would he say that? I mean, I know you say that all the time. I say that word all the time. It's like one of my top 10 words. And she's like, I can't believe that Peach man would say that to that brown person.
that is too funny.
With the peach man,
there's the peach people and the brown people and the dark brown people and like that's how, because people like, oh, I don't see colors. She don't know colors. I think the kid colorblind. But she's like, not this peach person. I can't believe it. And I'm like, yo, they really had slaves. And I'm like looking at her, showing her picture. She was like, oh no, we gotta get to the root of this. We gotta figure out what happened. How did they do that? I'm like, how did they do that? They psychologically brainwashed these people. What do you mean, how did they? I can't believe they would just go and just. What is that they're picking? I said, the stuff that you got on your back, cotton. I will never wear cotton. I'm like, even the same thing like with animals. She's like, I would never eat an animal. I'm like, you don't eat cheese? I would never. Like, she will, if it was alive, she won't touch it. She's like, why would you hurt something that God created? I'm like, people do it all the time. You ain't got to eat it. But I'm damn sure go eat this lobster tail. I'm damn sure
okay.
I would never do anything like that. So she's like, I'm just going to live off of inshore. Save me money. I ain't got to go food shopping. I ain't got to go food shopping. But I'm like, you know that milk came from a cow. Never. It is artificially made. Like, she's like so serious like that. I'm like, well, who invented it? Probably a peach and brown person together. I'm like,
now unity.
Now unity right here. Now let us all be united.
Okay. I wish the world could work that way, but unfortunately
it does not.
And that's the sad piece. But at least her view of it is different.
It's just pure.
And more, I was just about to say, there's still innocence sitting in there. So I love it. But no, you know, I know you're going to always do what you do for her, and as you has been for so long. And I love your transparency, right? You go up on your social media, you wrote transparent about what she has going on and things like that. And people need to see that, right?
Yeah.
Most people hide their children with special needs, but people need to see. This is me right here.
Yeah.
This is still a regular person at the end of the day. You know, so yeah, so shout out to you for even, and for a mom, for having a mom like that, right? You know, real talk. You know,
it's not the 50s and 60s where you used to keep the baby, the kid locked up in the back room.
Yes.
Remember how they used to live back in the day?
And embarrass them.
You don't even know you got an uncle named Jumbo. Jumbo come down for Big Mama funeral. Like, right. You don't even know that this person exists. And I'm like, well, why hide them? Like, as a parent of a child, because I didn't, for a long time, I didn't know that your child has special needs because of hearing impairment. I didn't know that. But until I seen him and his dad at CHOP.
Oh, you did?
One day, yup. Because Twitchy was in the feeding clinic. Okay. And I was like, I said that. First of all, I didn't know that was his dad. I said, what you doing with Shane this time?
No, you didn't. I'm
not. He was like, look at my. I said, oh, okay, because he looks like you. Like, daddy had nothing to do with it. What you doing with Shannon's son? So they were like, and Iman was like, I said, Tunch was in a feeding clinic. So that's how I knew. And I was like, you know, a lot of people would just like hide it. It's not an embarrassment. But as a parent of a child, especially, you have that guilt. Like, oh my God, like, why is my child like this? And you don't want to wish it on nobody else's child, but you're like, damn, like, I was like, I did everything right. Only thing I did was have a kid out of wedlock, but I ain't the first person that's done it. Like, how you make my child special needs for kind of thing.
And they know you cut for it. Like, if we wasn't cut for it, we wouldn't have them, right?
But sometimes I don't want to be cut.
I mean,
you know, like,
but guess what?
Listen,
we get up every day and we do it.
You know, you being frank.
Yeah.
No, get up and do it every day. Like I said, once you accept it for what it is it Listen, I don't play about mine like, all day long. Like people,
I'm fighting kids, cats,
Listen.
dogs with that pigeon side.
yes, listen. That's why I was like,
Excuse me,
no,
no.
bro, talking. That's just it because it's like it's just a different feeling. I can't. Everybody like I always say, our bond is just different. Me and my son. You know what I mean? Like, and of course I love my daughter to death. Right?
But it's a different
But my
connection.
son, like I had to learn another language to even communicate with him. You know what I mean? Yes. Of course, Dad is more like, oh, he good, let him do his thing, and I'm like, oh no, like, we're not doing that. Like, calm down a little bit, and that's the balance. Good because he's going to expose him to a lot of stuff that normally I'm not. Just because yes, he's in a vulnerable population, he's hearing impaired, so we could hear everything going around us. He's not going to hear danger coming. You understand? So yes, I'm going to protect him by any means necessary all day long. Not to say dad not, but men are just approach things differently than women, and I'm okay with that. But you know, so that's just that. So anybody out there with kids with special needs, listen, you make sure you let the world know about your kids. Ain't no damn embarrassment. And now, if it's something that you intentionally did, then yes, you gotta live with that. And I'm talking about if you was drinking, doing drugs, that's something you would have to live with. But on this couch, that's not the case. Okay? Now, you know what I want to get into next, right? Because I think this is so cute.
My new company.
Yes,
My
tell us
baby.
about it.
Pause and Party. That is my newest baby.
I love it.
So, back into culinary. So, grandma goes to a dog groomer, top dog groomer, is 1936, I believe, 1936 Federal Street. Shout out to my man, love Natasha, love y'all. So, grandma only eats people food. Grandma's not eating dog food. You put it in front of it, it's gonna sit there. You might as well not even waste your money. Grandma eats like omelets and lobsters, and grandma eats whatever you sitting at the table eating. You better. She doesn't even come to the table for your food because she already has her own plate. In the morning, she's barking every morning. My sister reaches over and makes sure that she has her bacon in the morning. When I come in, I make sure I bring her some tea from Dunkin' Donuts. It's not
the tea.
Oh my!
Yo,
what?
Too
She
funny.
loves her tea. She sits down and she puts her face in the cup and everything. Like it's
Grandma thinks she
a person. Her newest thing now, she eats poison ivy. I don't know where that's coming from, but I'm like, I feel like she's ready to end it all. Like, she wants to go, let her go happy. But she wasn't eating. She was crazy. She was a sick puppy. I bought her from somebody walking down the street in Chester. The girl was like, "You want to buy a dog?" I was like, "Goofy. Buy this little stupid dog. The dog is sick." I had to take the dog to the hospital like 3 times, and at that point, I spent so much money on it. I was like, "You might as well just keep her." So I got her for Tunchi for a support dog, is what she said. But I can't remember the last time she even pet that thing. So she's her and grandma are feuding right now because Tunchi's a godmother and grandma's a hater. So they kind of like going back and forth. She's like, "That's your sister," and the dog just like barking. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? So because she only eats people food, I was like, well, maybe I can do this for dogs. So I did do 2 dog parties, and where I made like custom biscuits, and I made a dog cake and dog cupcakes. It was for Bentley, that used to be Pod's dog. It's now Pod's dog. So that it was a big hit. I had shipped some beef to like some cured beef that I made to somebody in a different state, and it was like a hit. So at Top Dog knows that the only thing I do is give grandma people food. So it was like, oh, like I got a crazy idea. So I'm like, yeah, well, maybe I should do a dog treat company. So it's not just dog treats, but it's also cat treats too. People forget about the little stinky cats.
I know, but all I see is the dog right now, so I feel like, hey, Paul.
Yeah, so because that's just one logo. So that's just one. So so it'll be sold exclusively at Top Dog Groomers, which is at 1936 Federal Street. For now, until we expand. Right now, I'm working on something else, like a space for the dogs. I don't want to say it because I don't want to say but fall. 2022 is when everything will be out. It'll be a membership that you can have your stuff directly. So with the memberships, the treats come directly to you. You don't have to come in and get anything. We deliver them directly to you, depending on how much you want or exactly what you want. There's a one-on-one consultation with where we do the nutrition consultation and see what's appropriate for the dog. We have booster bites for those pet owners that's like on the go that want to
Mhm.
jog and run, so you can give your dog a paw smoothie that gives them energy.
That's cute.
We got we have the things for the dogs that have like a lot of anxiety, like how do we keep the dogs calm, and that's what the CBD treats. We also just have regular just treats for your dogs, just because they're really good. So it's not just we're gonna get your dog a milk bone. No, it's treat your pets with nutrition is our slogan. So this company is mine, and also my partner is Kev. So Kev is my partner in this company as well, and it is. I'm excited. Like I'm sending them like constant like emails like, yo, look at what you think about this, and the packaging is crazy. I'm so hyped up. I can't wait for my boxes to come. They come in like 10 more days. I'm like counting down and tracking them and things like that. So the memberships is good, and then what I'm trying to set up is have the kiosk so that way when they schedule for the groomer. So let's say your dog has to come every 6 weeks. Instead of you having to call in an order, then your order already be ready in 6 weeks. So it's like a grab and go kind of thing.
I love it.
So we have to have a soft launch. We were supposed to do the pop-ups, but life gets in the way, and I'm doing so many other things. But this is my baby, so while I pull back from baking for people, I will be baking for pets.
I love it. I love it.
So yes.
So let's back to the basics.
Yes, look forward. Like you guys look.
This one will be a hit. Some animals are treated better than human beings.
Most animals are treated better
yes,
than human
they
beings.
are. So this is going to definitely be a hit.
Yes,
and I love to see it.
My life insurance is going to feed the pigeons. Feed the seagulls of Atlantic City when I go.
That's what you're putting.
She's like, seagulls. I'm like, wait, what?
Fuck the fan, feed the seagulls. She's like, that's what you put this in? No. No. What else we got? So we got Cake Storm.
Yes, now is the time to tell them where to find all you.
Oh my God, find me. All right,
yes.
So what's this? I can't see what my
Your Cake Storm.
So this is Cake Storm. So you can follow me on Instagram at CakeStorm215. This is Pause and Party does have a Instagram. Pause and Party on Instagram. The website is coming soon. I'm building it.
Wait, and it's party with a W, not a R.
PAWSPAWTY.
Absolutely.
And then I have the real estate. So I am with a brokerage. It is Realty One Legacy. And you can email me at Latifa Beard like facial hair, BEARD1@gmail.com. It's my information. I ain't gonna give you my phone number, so just email me. And then my bookmarks. So then you have Evoke, which is my book. You guys can order that directly on my website at www.latifah.com. And it comes with a cute little bookmark and stuff.
Oh, and a message. When you get one of these books from her, she
I
write a personalized message strictly to you.
Yes, I definitely signed these books. So I think I got like 25 left. But this book actually did really well. I was surprised. I'm not surprised because I was like, it's going to go. In my head, I was like, I'm going to be a New York Times bestseller. But the thing that I found the most difficult, Kanye West said it best, niggas don't read.
No.
I didn't know that. I said,
No.
Everybody should read. But
Of course.
everybody should read. But I think that this was the hardest thing for me to sell out anything. It definitely was. But I was able to sell books in Africa. I sold a few books in Sierra Leone and made a really good connection with a teacher there. And he's like, oh, I want to buy your book. There's some random guy. And I said, okay, if you buy a book, because the shipping was like $234. It's crazy. So I said, if you buy a book, I'll send you a few copies for your students to read. So I actually shipped him out. He bought one book. I shipped him out seven books total. And then he shipped me out books from his country.
I love it.
So
That was nice.
yeah, it was really good. So I'm like, well, we can have like a book exchange like back and forth because some of these things that are really important. It's so many things that I feel like can really help, just help people in this book. So it's my personal opinion. So.
Yeah, it should be. So did y'all heard it here? Go find Latifa B. The cake slayer that I call
She
her.
always calls me.
Yes.
And she the selfie slayer. Actually, we gotta get a name for you. I don't don't know.
You know, so you listen. I love to see a black woman doing her thing. I love to see women doing their thing, but a black woman do her thing is major to me, right?
Yes.
You know,
y'all doing y'all thing too.
thank you.
I'm super proud of y'all. I'm like, oh man, I got that picture of Shannon when she met Bill Clinton back in '97. I bring it. Should I bring it? When you Bill. Listen, I was just posting to somebody's like, yo, I got all these pictures, black men. Like my little sister sent me a picture from the prom. Ooh, girl, you got a poodle. Ooh, I'm gonna post that. You better do what I say, no.
No, but really, like, you know, like I said, we grew up together, and to see you where you at now, this major is dope. I love to see it. You're already doing big things, so it only could get even bigger, right? So, like I said, I'm looking forward to more things to come. I know this ain't where it stops. Because as you see, she's a perfectionist, so it's always going to be more and more and more, which is a good thing, right? She's putting the pressure up underneath of herself, so society doesn't have to do it, right?
That's right.
You know?
Apply the pressure.
Absolutely. So keep doing your thing, and this is Nash signing off.
Ash signing off.
And Latifah B. Wait a minute.
What?
Y'all ain't even try your cupcakes though.
I keep trying to
Not right this second. You feel me?
Oh, well,
They
they better
so these are going to get tried, but
Oh, y'all better make sure that
Oh,
y'all
try.
I already know you did with the cake
That's
and
all
stuff.
I'm saying.
I know you do your thing.
Oh, all
I had
right.
a cake from you already. Okay,